Scoutly cloud triggers are here. And when I come back from this transition, I'm going to share my phone screen with you so you can see what they're all about. In this video, I'm going to tell you what they do. I'm going to tell you what they don't do. And I'm going to do a walkthrough to show you how to basically use these. My name is Manny, and this is Manny's Book Bag. Alright folks, so here we are. I am sharing my screen of my cell phone because I really just want to show you what these new cloud triggers are all about. Before I get started, I just want to let you all know in this video I am not going to get into how to set profit triggers. I've already made that video. I'm going to go ahead and link it in the YouTube card up above so that if you are having a hard time wrapping your head around how to make effective profit triggers, or if you're just not really sure the best way to go about it, I would encourage you to go ahead and look at that video as well after this one. In this video, I really just want to show you what the new screen looks like and kind of break down and explain to you how you can use cloud triggers really effectively in your business, especially if you have several business models running at the same time. First of all, I want to go over some of the changes to the screen itself. We have 3 new green buttons up top, as well as a trigger set setting there right below that. The most important thing for you to know is that once you receive the new version of Scoutly, if you had any triggers in place, they didn't go anywhere. All of your old triggers and settings would be under the default trigger settings, and that is one of the big scares people have. They think everything got wiped out. It certainly did not. But I just want to explain to you the mechanics of this. What you're going to want to do when you get into this is, you may not want to change anything. You might be happy with how things are, or you might potentially take advantage of some of the dynamics of having way more than 20 profit triggers at your disposal at one time. For me, it's also very important to explain that cloud triggers are not team mode. Cloud triggers and team mode are, I'm sure, eventually going to go hand in hand, but these are not designed, if you have multiple devices, these are not designed for you to push out to individual devices as you wish. One of the important things to understand is that if you have a team member that is out on the field and you have created new triggers for them under your account, they wouldn't really have any way of getting into those triggers unless they logged in under your username and password and then clicked on the download button in the middle to take in the settings that you have put on the cloud. That's really the only workaround right now. Other than that, I know the Scoutly team is working on a couple of really big projects, so I know that team mode might not be out for some time otherwise. But getting back to cloud triggers, what you basically have in front of you is a default trigger set, which is the only setup that you have when you receive the new version of Scoutly. And then what you're going to want to do, and here's basically how it works, you have to figure out a strategy for yourself, and I'm just going to go ahead and open this up and give you a basic strategy. We have a default trigger set, but honestly, I'm come up with a couple of other ideas here for you. Coming to the very top of the screen, if, let's say for example, I have a couple of very specific sources that are extremely cheap, I could create a bunch of trigger sets with those specific buy costs and profit expectations. There's a lot of used bookstores out there as well that are going to charge you a minimum of $2 to $3 per book. So you may want to have a different setup for them. So half-price books is just my example. Around here in Ohio, even if I'm shopping in their clearance area, it looks as though I'm going to be spending $3 per book no matter what. That's going to create a very different profit expectation, and it may also cause me to be a little tighter as far as when I start bringing down which used offer I'm going to look at as far as coming up with a target price. So just just a heads up about that. You can use profit triggers on the cloud so that you can just swap back and forth between specific businesses by costs, and instead of having to turn on and off specific triggers, you can just flip over to this trigger set instead, and it's going to change your buy cost in your main screen, and it's also going to adhere to those specific triggers that you set up for them. Another one is like for your mid-range, like if you're spending a little over $1 but under $2, you can create a trigger set for them as well. If you have a bulk model, you can create triggers with a dwindled down buy cost and perhaps a lower expectation of profit per unit because it's all already owned. If you're doing merchant fulfill, you can set up triggers that are specific to merchant fulfill. You just you skip all the other trigger sets for new FBA, for used FBA, and you just focused on the whichever used offer you want to focus on. You can skip the used buy box, or you can use it if it's lower. So you can create merchant fulfilled filters as well, and you can toggle over to those if you're out there looking for items that you can sell that same day. You're also going to notice that I have triggers for shoes, grocery, as well as toys. This, I think, is an absolute game changer. If you're in retail arbitrage, if you're doing RA, you're already taking advantage of the fact that you've got database availability of these items to really speed you up. But now, instead of turning triggers on and off underneath the others category, you can go ahead and create those triggers, and let's say it's Q4 and it's the first week in December and I'm looking to find some toys for that last shipment that I'm sending out to Amazon. I can toggle my trigger set over to the toys, and I can just go nuts on database mode, scan out a couple of aisles in the big box stores in no time flat. You can basically use this to discover your own BOLOs and shop where no one else is. And yeah, I think it's just the ultimate tool for retail arbitrage and actual on-the-ground scouting. So the possibilities are really endless with cloud triggers, and it really helps you to toggle back and forth, especially if you're diverse in your business and you're selling in multiple categories, or if you're basically swimming at very different depths as far as your buy cost in books, CDs, DVDs, whatever the case is. As far as the mechanics of it goes, here's how it's going to work. If, let's say, for example, I'm in this particular trigger set and I'm making some changes here. What I would do is I would just click on the specific category that I'm making changes for, and then once I'm done, on the top right there, I'm going to click Upload. And what that is going to do is that's going to take the changes that I just placed on my phone, and it's going to upload them to the cloud. And that's just one way to work that. But there is another way to work it. If you click on the top left under Cloud, it's going to show you all of your trigger settings. Now, if you make changes to your specific triggers, and you do so while you're on the cloud, you can save all those changes on the cloud. And when you're ready to put those changes onto your phone, instead of hitting upload, which is going from your phone to the cloud, you're going to want to click download. That takes the current settings that are on the cloud and moves them to your phone instead. So uploading is when you're going from your phone to the cloud, and downloading is when you're on the cloud and you're going from the cloud and putting those changes onto your phone. And it's really just that simple, folks. This will allow you to pivot from one business model to another on the fly while you're in the wild and you're making decisions. It's also going to give you the opportunity to make potential changes. Even if you don't use them, you can just go ahead and make a trigger set for them and test them at your leisure. And it's just that simple.
Well, there you have it, folks. They're very simple to use. I'm certainly going to try and take full advantage of them as I develop my profit triggers. One last thing to note is that if you are using basic or advanced triggers, Cloud trigger sets are not going to support those. They are specifically used just for the profit triggers. But here's the question of the day. Have you already started messing around with cloud triggers? And are there any strategies that I didn't cover in this video? Go ahead and put in your comments below, because I would love to hear how you folks are using them. Well, that's all for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see me make more videos like this one, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and tap on that book bag right there. And while you're in there, make sure you turn on those bell notifications so that you find out every time I drop a new video. Until next time, let's go make some money.